On the cover page, we see the grave that Yamato visited in Wano belonged to a man named Kozuki Moria. This reveals that Gecko Moria's true name is Kozuki Moria. I know I talked about this a few times, guys, but this is just for anyone that is visiting this video today and didn't want to go over the spoilers. And yes, this means that it is nearly confirmed that Moria is related to Odin and the rest of the Kozukis from Wano. And considering that the Kozuki clan invented the poneglyph writing and carved it into the poneglyphs themselves and then taught the rest of their family how to read and write poneglyphs, it is very likely that Moria himself knows how to read and write the poneglyphs. Therefore, the popular theory at this point in time is that Moria will join Buggy's Cross Guild and become their poneglyph reader. Then continuing the Loki/Rocks flashback, we're coming to the Roger Pirates on the Sea, and we find out that Shakky has been sick, or at least Roger thinks that she is. And it's very likely due to the quote-unquote love sickness, because it turns out that Shakky loves Rayleigh. She gave him a note that says, "Come and make me yours." But it turns out that Rayleigh doesn't want to get quote-unquote tied down. He is interested in her, but he's not really looking for commitment at this point. He's looking for short-term fun. Roger, however, does want the commitment, and he's looking for a long-term partner. So now that Rayleigh doesn't want Shakky, I guess Roger's like, I guess I can have her, bro. It's cool, right? We'll just trade, girls. Even though she wanted you and not wanted me, let's go to Hachinosu, the pirate island, where her ripoff bar is currently, and then let me try to woo her. Also, let me point out at this point, there is an insane age difference between Shakky and Rayleigh and Roger. I don't even know if I could say it in this video, but look it up for yourself or check the comments. It's pretty wild. Anyway, they wind up going to Hachinosu and they see Shakky there, of course, and we see her running the rip-off bar. Rocks is there, of course, because that's like his headquarters, Hachinosu. And we find out that Rocks is no longer interested in Shakky because he got his own lady and wound up making Blackbeard. Or at least it's heavily implied that Blackbeard was made, quote unquote, at this point. They don't say that it is Teach or whatever. I mean, I guess it makes sense that he wouldn't be naming him right now. But I just want to point out it is very possible that it's also Buggy that was, being made here. But it's most likely Blackbeard. But Roger and his crew bust into the bar trying to woo Shakky, of course. But then Roger runs into Rocks. And we get this incredible first-time interaction between them. Well, at least from what we've seen. They've probably interacted or clashed a few times at this point. At least they seem to know each other already. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, FableVerse. And make sure you watch until the end for a chance to win a $100 Amazon, Steam, or Crunchyroll gift card. But anyway, FableVerse is a free platform on Voice.me where you can chat with your favorite anime and manga characters, rewrite canon in what-if stories, and play RPG adventures with your own character. Your story, your world. On the homepage, you'll find Fables, interactive stories you can jump into instantly. From epic adventures with characters like Goku, Naruto, Luffy, Gojo, Tanjiro, and many more, to what-if twists like what if Minato never died? That's Naruto's dad, by the way, where you choose your own path, make your own decisions, and rewrite canon for your favorite anime franchises. There's something for every anime fan. Action, romance, humor, and more. Plus, with the See feature, you can generate stunning anime-style visuals that bring your story to life. And here's the best part. FableVerse is running an amazing limited-time giveaway. Just start a story and send at least one message in the Fable chat for a chance to win one of 5 $100 gift cards. Don't miss out on this exciting new way to interact with your favorite anime and manga characters. And of course, the link is in the description. Thanks, guys. Because Rocks is like, Roger, how many times do I gotta tell you that this is my island? And then Roger's like, we can't fight in Shakky's bar, so shut up, Porcupine. And this is really cool, of course, because like I said before, it's like The Rock and Stone Cold coming together. And while we're not getting that big WrestleMania main event right now, once we get to God Valley, which possibly might be the next chapter or two, we are going to see these two fight, and it's going to be incredible. But the sequence ends with Shakky denying Roger, as she should, and we knew that that was going to happen because Roger would eventually go on to marry, or I don't know if he married her, but get with Portgas D. Rouge and wound up making ace with her. But we also find out that Rayleigh decided to stay on the ship and not interact with Shakky because, he didn't want to get tied down. But it's very possible this also plays into how Shakky survived the love sickness. The very same love sickness that we were told killed the previous Empress of Amazon Lily, who in my opinion is very likely to be Luffy's mother, and her love for Dragon got her killed. Same thing that we saw happening with Boa Hancock. She developed the love sickness for Luffy, but Luffy, whatever he did, thwarted it. I guess you need to friend zone the woman, and then that cures the love sickness. I mean, this is just typical Oda stuff. I'm not a white knight, guys, but come on, Oda, get with the times, brother. Anyway, we're cutting to our boy Garling, and I say that loosely because he's like a racist psychopath, but he's talking to the Gorosei, and he says that he found this really cool place, which is God Valley. It's actually really funny how he states it. He's like, we briefly stopped at that island. It's not affiliated state, but it has some unique culture. And it's like people in the One Piece world must get annoyed sometimes when people are talking because they always speak ambiguously like this. They're like, that man, that island. It's like, hey, just say what it is. Okay, just say what it is. Where'd you go? God Valley? Is that where you went? Just say it. Anyway, this is a pretty interesting place because, he says unique culture. He tried offering them a membership into the world government, but they declined. They also have a bunch of abundant resources, which are valuable for the world government, of course, but they also made an outrageous discovery. It was completely unexpected, and Garling thinks that Emu would be very pleased with this. Therefore, he wants to have the big hunting game take place 2 years later at God Valley, which, of course, eventually happens and leads to the God Valley incident, as we saw in Kuma's flashback. Now, what is this crazy cool thing that he found there? We have no idea. It probably has something to do with the Void Century or the Ancient Kingdom, I'm assuming, because I think God Valley as a whole has something to do with that. Joy Boy, his joyous boys, their lineage probably has been carried down to God Valley to this day. They're probably living in their own little version of North Korea possibly, but it's not like a dictatorship. But now we're coming to the big crazy fight of this chapter because we're going a little bit ahead in time and we're coming to Rox fighting Harold at Elbaf. Turns out in the previous chapter that Harold was made an offer by the Gorosei to straight up assassinate Rox. I don't know if assassinating is the right term, but just, kill him. They wanted to put a hit out on Rox and have Harold do the job because, they don't like Rox. He's too cool. He's not keeping their matrix intact. And plus, he knows who Emu is, and he already declared that he was going to come back and take them down. So yeah, Rock's got to go. Also, he's a freaking D. Also, he's the freaking GOAT. But it's like, hey, Harold, you kill Rox, and we'll let Elbaf flourish. We'll let you join the world government. We'll let you join the military and all that stuff. And you can be part of the reverie, and, we'll chill with you. We'll let you be a king and all that stuff. And we'll leave you alone. Just kill Rox. And Harold was like, all right, bet. I'll do it, because he says he was torn. He's conflicted. Rox is his friend. He finally admits it in this chapter. I mean, Rox was obviously way more into Harold than vice versa, but still, it freaking sucks. Rox loved Harold, and Harold is just going at him, trying to kill him for the greater good of what he believes of Elbaf, because he's like, I'm a king, I got to do this. And Rox, of course, continuing being the GOAT, he's like, is this really something worth killing your friend over? And in the end, you just bow down to them? You're being used by them, you idiot. What happened to your warrior's pride? And Harold's like, our warriors created a history of violence. Elbaf is shackled by it, held back from achieving true peace. So that's why he feels that he has to do this. It's bigger than just Harold, or at least he believes that it is. He's trying to save his entire country here, and he felt like, hey, Rox is a bad guy anyway. He's a villain, as he says. So if I kill him, it's not really that big of a deal. But it is. Because you could have teamed up with Rox and took down the world government, probably. I mean, I don't know if you guys could defeat Emu because she has, ridiculously hack powers that, maybe only Luffy can defeat at the end game. But you guys would have gotten really close. But a part in this sequence that I especially like is towards the end of the fight. When Harold is trying to defend the Celestial Dragons, he's like, listen, no matter how foolish they are, they still have influence in the world to bring Elbaf into the loop. And Rox is like, stop it! He like grabs his head. He's like, you cowardly rat! It's like, man, this is such a great sequence. So much emotion conveyed in these panels. Like, Oda really likes Rox. I mean, you could tell. I mean, we all like Rox. He's my new favorite character. But like, Oda really going out of his way to make Rox like the best character in the series. Like him just hearing Harold speak kindly of the Celestial Dragon, trying to like rationalize their sociopathy. He's like, stop it, you cowardly rat! And then he blasts him. So good. And then after that, he's like, you know what, Harold? Screw you, man. You're not getting another invite from me. Business is closed. And Harold's like, yeah, I'm a king. All right, I can't throw away my people's lives by following a villain like you. And that was it. The battle ended in a draw. They didn't want to kill each other. And that's it. Rox left and he didn't come back. But now that the fight's over, let me just point out that this might be the strongest fight we've ever actually seen play out in the series at this point. I mean, maybe not the strongest thing ever. I mean, the strongest thing that we've ever seen was probably when Joy Boy's Haki was released from that knot of Emeth that blew away the Gorosei. And then, aside from that, just Emu showing their power. That's, implied to be the strongest character in the series. But other than that, just us seeing two characters fight, I do think this might be the strongest ever. I mean, yeah, Roger and Whitebeard clashing in Odin's flashback happens many years after this, so the power scale was very different. However, we don't know who was stronger between those two eras or whatever. You know what I mean? And right now, it seems like Rox and Harold are number 1 and number 2 on the pound for pound scale, outside of like Garling and Emu. And we don't really get to see top pound for pound guys actually have a real fight. I mean, granted, we're just seeing like clashes and whatever. Oda was never really great at drawing fights. He kind of just lets Toei, pick up the slack for him, I guess. And that's totally fine. Oda's been doing this for over 20 years. He can just do whatever he wants. But yeah, this might be the strongest fight we've ever seen up until this point. Then at the end of the chapter, we come to God Valley 39 years ago. And we see the inhabitants there, and there's like this woman in a stroller, and everybody's like, fawning over her. We don't see her face. She's just a typical Oda woman from the back. She could be Nami. But anyway. It turns out that the kids in this stroller are Shanks and Shamrock. That's right. This is their mother. Which means, at least it seems that way, that Shanks and Shamrock's mother is not a celestial dragon. It seems like she is an inhabitant of God Valley. And when Garling went there, he wooed her. I at least hope this was consensual because, the way that Garling and the Celestial Dragons are. And if it was consensual, that means that Shanks and Shamrock's mom literally hooked up with a psychopath. And maybe she's not such a good person herself, or maybe Garling love-bombed her and gaslit her and made her think that he wasn't a psychopath, but the deed was done. And it seems like Shanks and Shamrock are half Celestial Dragons and half possibly D. This woman might be a D. I've had that theory for a while. It seems likely, could be wrong, but at minimum, they are just half not Celestial Dragon. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.